Hey there, guys, and a big welcome back to the Blaze TV podcast. It's Ed Kimberley with you as always, and my guest on this edition, a familiar face, but from the other side. And I got to say, I'm having seen him play in the last couple of years. I'm real glad to have our guest on this side for the year. It's Ian McNulty. Ian, big welcome to the podcast, and a big welcome to Coventry. Seriously, after seeing you play for the last couple of seasons, real glad you're going to be pulling on Blaze Blue.
I'm really excited about it. Obviously, for the fans and the two organizations, it was a pretty big move for me. You know, I've considered Coventry as one of our biggest rivals in Guildford for the last couple of years, and I've sure got into it with a lot of players and maybe some fans over there. But that's just my passion coming out, and I'm excited to bring that passion to Coventry and just enjoy playing in front of the fans there.
For sure, absolutely. I mean, that's what it's all about at the end of the day. I mean, I remember those battles really well. And it's just a couple of scoops with the boys in pre-season there that have played against you, and it'll all be water under the bridge. But for the fans that maybe don't know a little bit about your backstory here, you ready for a little trip down memory lane?
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome, because you're a Sasky boy, so you kind of played in the SJ as most guys up there tend to do. And you ended up playing in Melville. Now, the Millionaires is probably one of the best team monikers I think I've heard in a while. It's right up there. But I think they missed a trick, because I'm not aware of this, because they play in blue and white, I think it is, the jersey colors.
Yeah.
But did they ever do one of those special jerseys? Like, you know how over here we had the retro jersey, we do a thing for Pride, teams do other stuff as well throughout the year. But did they ever do one of them, like, old or like in greenback colors, because that seems like it would be real appropriate for up there?
No, you know what, we never did have a retro night there, and it would have been awesome to have like a $5 bill as a jersey or something. Yes. Like that, right? Or exactly. No, we're Millionaires, we'd have $100 bill. Yeah.
Exactly, you got my thinking. But no, in all seriousness, 2 out of 3 years there, you guys were in the postseason. I think you went to the conference finals those years as well, which is pretty impressive. Talk about those teams, because they looked like they were rocking and rolling.
Yeah, it was a great 3 years of my life. Had a great time, had a lot of success individually my second year, and as a team we did pretty well. But unfortunately, there was a guy 20 minutes down the road in Yorkton named Brady Norrish. And we played a lot against each other there, and we could never, I think it was my last year, he beat us and they went on to win the championship. So me and Brady have been going at it against each other for a long time too, and it's excited to meet up with him. And you know, he's from he wins a lot, so I'm excited to be on his team for now.
Yeah, he does. He cleaned up in college. I think he won in Yorkton as well. Was he as tough to play back then, and was he as jacked back then? Because he's a dude with some size to him. I don't think people realize that.
He's a small town farm boy, right? So they're just born that way. Yeah, he's a guy you don't want to get in the corner with, because he's pretty strong. You don't really realize it, but no, he's a great player, and like I said, I'm excited to be with him. I've known him for a few years now, so it's exciting.
Yeah, and you mentioned it in Melville. You had a couple of good years yourself. I think it was third in scoring overall in the league. Then you led the league in scoring. You were player of the year. When you look back on it, it must have been super fun hockey to play. It's always fun when, you know, as a team you're doing well, as an individual you're doing well. But also looking back on it, was it some of the best hockey you think you kind of played in your career?
Growing up, yeah, for sure. At that point, like, I was such a late bloomer that, you know, I didn't really find my stride till I was about 18, till I really started to work out and really started dedicating everything towards hockey in my off seasons and everything. And I was just a late bloomer and came out. I don't know what clicked or what happened, but everything just kind of fell into place that those couple of years, and kind of just had a foundation on where I kind of came to today, I guess. I mean, but it was just hard work and having a lot of fun and being comfortable where I was, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I know coaching can play a part of that. You know, you can have all the talent in the world and just fall into a coach that, you know, you don't click, and you know, it doesn't end up in a good time. But I guess you had some good support structure around you while you were there. Yeah,
exactly. All you need is someone who believes in you, right, and puts you into those, or you build enough trust with them, they can put you into those opportunities where, you know, maybe you're down a goal or down 2 goals, and then if you thrive in that position, then you keep going, staying in there, and you got to work to get to get into that situation and build a trust with the coach. And that's kind of what I did. And yeah, I had great coaching. It was awesome.
Yeah. And you ended up enrolling at the University of Regina. Now, it was a little bit of a different journey to most guys who enroll out in the old CIS, which is U Sports now, because you started in the SP, didn't you, that year, playing a little bit of pro. But I think it was around Christmas time, December time, you kind of realized maybe something wasn't right. It wasn't quite right for you in life, I guess, at that time. Is that fair to say?
There's a lot to go into that, because my 9-year-old, I had a Division I scholarship to University of Connecticut, and I was supposed to go there. Unfortunately, I couldn't make it through clearinghouse at the time with the NCAA rules, and being Canadian coming over, I had to jump through a lot of hoops, or it just didn't work out. And then I wasn't eligible to go to school till January of that year. So I had to find a place to play. I needed to play somewhere till January. So I knew my plan all along. I just had to play somewhere, and I played there, and I actually had a lot of fun. I was 20 years old. I was playing with a lot of older guys, and it opened my eyes to a lot of things in life, I guess. And but yeah, I went to school and spent I guess 4.5 years there at U of R, and me and my best friend got recruited there together, and that's kind of how I ended up there. And I still spend my summers there to this day. I call it my hometown, and I love it there.
Oh, right on. Was Canada West, which is kind of the division that U Sports kind of I guess fell into? Was it the same back when it was the old CIS? Because Canada West is it's got some stacked programs in there, doesn't it?
Yeah, big time. And it's just a lot of travel in that league too, right? No, everything's the same. If anything, they picked up a couple teams, just another couple colleges, but no, it's everything basically stayed the same through the name change.
Did you guys have a pretty good rivalry with USask back then?
Oh yeah, for sure. So Cozen, we played a lot against each other too.
Yep.
Unfortunately, their team was on a little different level than us. They were a good team. So I mean, we had our battles, but we came out on top a few times. But they definitely they were a lot better than us.
Fair enough. I think it's quite interesting that you can turn around in retrospect and say that. I think a lot of guys would maybe try and find the angle there, but no, it's pretty self-aware. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
But it's interesting because CIS as a league back then, I don't think we really had all that many guys come over to the elite league straight from it. But certainly last 5, 6, 7 years when kind of U Sports came in, there's a real steady stream. Do you think that, I guess maybe as a league, doesn't matter really the division, it's kind of gone through a bit of a golden era where it's kind of elevated? Maybe it's just the program's getting a little more serious. Maybe it's the guys are able to attract in terms of their hockey level, or is that just in the elite league we've just seen it and it's always been that good?
Like coming from the CIS or the U Sports?
Yeah, from a little bit of both, because like I said, it kind of seems like it's gone through a bit of a golden era the last kind of maybe decade.
Sure. I don't know what it is. It's always been great hockey, and it's all guys who have played in the Western League or something, so they're not eligible to go Division I NCAA. So, and it's guys who just want to get a degree, and then if they want to move on from hockey after, they get a job, right? Or they come play professional. But it was just never. It's not very marketed. I would say it's not very marketed very well, and like you don't get many fans. But when you go to a game, like everyone's still in like a great hockey player, elite hockey player, especially at the big programs like in U of S or a University of Alberta or something. But it's still really good hockey that I guess is starting to get more and more attraction. And then plus you see guys coming out of there, like Mitch Cook, I guess, on Coventry came out of U Sports, and you see a lot more guys now, and they're coming into the league, and they're coming in and making a difference for sure.
Yeah, and some of the top end guys are going like to the A. They're heading out to some of the elite leagues in Europe. So some really good guys. And when you look back on it, actually, some of their CVs are pretty impressive. They've done really well in the Q. They've done well in the O, in the Dub. So I guess it's no surprise, really, is it?
No, not at all. Because like from where they're coming from, it's not like they weren't coming from anywhere, right? They were coming from the elite leagues in Canada, playing against the best of the best, really, or the guys who are getting drafted first, second round. And So I mean, the only difference coming out of it is just playing against older guys, but there's the most elite 17 or 20-year-olds they're still playing against. So it's very
Yeah,
good hockey.
you probably would have got a little bit of that playing in the SP. I mean, we'll talk about your time in Tulsa as well, but there's something a little bit different playing against guys that are a whole bunch of age ranges, that have got a whole bunch of different experiences, rather than, just a narrow margin around your age group.
Oh, for sure. And even like you come out of college or junior and you hear people say about experience, talk about experience, and then being a young guy, you're like, you don't really know what that means. You're just playing another hockey game, but you don't really understand until you get to my age or something that experience is a thing. And it just you learn from different situations, and it's even on and off the ice how to take care of yourself and how to, you know, how to work hard off the ice, I guess, and be disciplined. And it's a full-time job.
Yeah. Talk to us about turning pro with Tulsa then, because clearly something felt right. You stuck around for 3 years. How did that move come about in the first place?
I just came out of college. I talked to the coach there, and just I don't know, we got along, and we signed a contract, and I went in there and made the team from camp, because there, when you go down to camps there, you're still grinding for a spot. You sign a contract, but it doesn't really mean anything till your name's on that roster sheet. So I grinded the camp there and ended up making the team out of camp, and just really working hard. Like the coach was kind of an old school guy and liked the hardworking, hitting and everything. So I kind of tried to change my game around that. And fortunately for us, my first year, we made it to Game 7 in the conference finals. Went on a big run, and then that just keeps sucking you back every year. Like, wow, this is gonna be easy every year. We're gonna go far. Maybe we're gonna win the championship next year. And then we had a nice core group of us, maybe 6 to 8 of us that stayed. And then unfortunately COVID hit.
Yeah.
And we got into February, and then we're like, oh, we got to come back for another year, and maybe we can do it then. And then that was like it was only 10 teams in the league that year because of COVID, and we were one of the teams, and it was just a complete different league. And then just the uncertainty of everything, I'm just like, yeah, it's time to go. And I made my way over to Guilford.
Yeah, I know, a lot of guys, speak to a lot of guys that come out of the coast, and whether it's they played exclusively pre-COVID or they've had COVID in the middle, it can be such a grind, that league. Absolutely.
Especially where we were in Tulsa, we're in the West North Division, and the travel is insane. Like it's a grind. Like if you're on a bus, sometimes you're on the bus for 24 hours, and fortunately you do got beds on the bus, but it doesn't really make that much of a difference.
Yeah, it's interesting because I think it was Newfoundland that won it your first year. I mean, their travel is just nuts. And then there's a team in Quebec now. I think it's in Three Rivers, and then Brampton were there for a while. I think they went bust a few years ago. But those teams, their travel, man, I don't envy them at all.
No, it's crazy.
Yeah. Talk to us through that season, actually, a little bit in the pro season, because Toledo were really good that year. I think that you guys lost to them in the Game 7. And they ended up going on to lose against Newfoundland. It was a really stacked few teams that went to the wire.
Yeah, it was. Well, for us, we ran into big time injury problems. I think all our top 6 forwards were playing with something. Guys were getting shot up 4 games because they couldn't walk and everything, and just doing everything they can to play. So it is a luck aspect when you're playing those long series, 7-game series for 4 rounds. You definitely do have to be lucky, because injuries were the complete reason why we lost in Game 7. I'm not saying we would have went on the championship. I mean, we probably would have, right?
Absolutely.
But yeah, that was the thing. You just got to have the luck. The hockey gods got to be smiling down on you to make a good run.
Yeah, you bumped into a buddy of ours in Tulsa as well, and Justin Hamannik. We absolutely loved Hammer over here, and I think he was in Norway last year. What was it like playing with him?
I love Hammer. He's a great guy. I talked to him before I signed in Coventry and asked him how it is, and he had nothing but good things to say about everything in Coventry, and he loved his time in Coventry. I know that, and he's a great person too. I know he was a captain of Coventry for a few years there, right? And yeah, he's just that he's a quiet, nice guy, good leader. And no, I really enjoyed my time with Hammer.
He is, and then it's like you flick a switch, he puts his skates on, and he's just this mean dude that
Yeah, he does
plays.
get a little bit out there.
Oh yeah, he plays his size. I think Stewie talked about him. He pulled me aside once. He was like, what I love about Hammer? Go watch him. Go watch him when he goes into the boards. He comes out with that puck like 100% of the time, 99% of the time he comes out with the puck. Just watch him. He doesn't always just beat a dude down and he takes it that way. He can stick lift. He can be shifty, and then you watch him. You go, God, you're right. He's not just this behemoth back there.
Yeah, no, he's good. He's a good player.
Tell us about coming to Guildford then, because obviously you said about the 3 years in Tulsa, kind of realized I'm at the end of this road. Why the Elite League? Because presumably you'd have had some other doors open elsewhere.
Yeah, I don't know. Just I knew a couple guys in the Elite League. Like obviously I knew Hamonic and Brady was going over, and then Brett Ferguson, captain of Guildford. I've known him for a lot of years, being in Regina.
Yep.
And just everyone I've talked to just has nothing but great things to say about it. Regina, we had a lot of people. Tanner Eberle was in Sheffield for a while.
Yeah.
And all these guys everyone had such good things to say about the Elite League. The travel's not too bad. You're playing just on weekends. You're practicing every day on weekdays. Like, it's a great schedule, and it's, and then when you get all the imports over and all the British guys, like everyone's there for the same reason, and everyone's like there to have a good time and have fun, want to win, and it's just a good environment, and it's a lot of fun to be over there. I really enjoy the UK.
Yeah, and that first season, I mean, you led the Flames in goals. That must have felt good again, because in Tulsa you did pretty well, but with respect, I don't think you led the team in goals. So it must have been like, hey, yeah, this is great. I'm back on the top line. I'm back getting the minutes that I want to be playing.
Yeah, and that's obviously a reason why you come over to Europe, because obviously we get in the East Coast League, you get guys with NHL, AHL contracts get sent down, and it doesn't really matter how they're doing or who they are. They're obviously getting in that first line, second line spot. So you have to be the guy that goes down. And then coming to Guildford, yeah, I did get a good opportunity, and that was kind of the whole thing about coming over, which is getting that opportunity and trying to take it and run with it. And I did have success that year, and it was and I had a lot of fun with it too. And I enjoyed my time in Guildford for sure.
Yeah, I'm racking my brains, because you've already mentioned it about the rivalry that's kind of been brewing between us here. Or was it preseason, or maybe like the first week of the season, maybe Challenge Cup or something, that we had that battle in the Sky Dome where everybody was throwing hits. The refs are really struggling to keep the lid on that one, and it all just fired up from there throughout the year. That must have actually given you that extra bit of motivation when you were traveling to the Sky Dome, or when you look at the sheet, got the Blaze in town in the Spectrum tonight. It just pumps you up that little bit more.
Absolutely. Every time you have those, I like to call them now passionate games, right?
Yes.
Where everyone's kind of on edge, and everyone hates to lose, especially to that certain team or whatever. And it does give you a little fire coming or get under you, like that next game coming in, like, oh, we don't want to lose these guys, and then you got fans yelling at you, and like, oh, it's kind of you against everyone at that point. But it's a lot of fun to be in those situations. I really like that stuff.
Yeah, I think it makes hockey what it is. I think if it was very pedestrian, it wouldn't quite be the same. But if you think about it, right, we're locking guys with clubs in their hands and blades on their feet in an enclosed space where they can go 100 miles an hour. It's not going to be polite.
No, exactly.
And the thing is that the Blaze and the Flames that year were pretty close in terms of where they ended up in the league. I mean, 4th to 8th was super close. I mean, there was only a handful of points in that, so it added that extra little bit of spice, because you wanted to be ahead of those guys in the playoff hunt.
For sure. And then being on Guildford, we didn't want to play Coventry in the playoffs, because you just never know what's going to happen in those games, right?
For sure. And then you go to last year. I mean, dang, that was a heck of a run that the Flames were on. I mean, you guys were rocking and rolling, agonizingly close to all three bits of tin that were on offer: the Cup, the League, and the playoffs. And yeah, I guess you just ran into the wrong teams at the wrong times. I mean, Belfast really picked it up towards the new year, didn't they? And that was kind of what leapfrogged you guys.
Yeah, we went through the regular season. It was great. It was a lot of fun. I think it was from January. I think Belfast lost maybe 2 or 3 games.
Yeah.
Like they were a good team. They were hard to beat. Like you couldn't really have any mistakes on a night playing Belfast. But the run, it was a lot of fun, and we knew came in, coming into the rink with a smile on your face every day, knowing that like there's a really good chance you're going to win tonight, or it's going to be a really good game. Like it's a lot different coming into work every day with that attitude, with just a positive attitude, I guess. It was a lot of fun, but unfortunately, you come home in this season and everyone asks, "Oh, how was your season?" Well, it was a really good season, but we have nothing to show for it. So,
Yep.
unfortunately, that it didn't end how we wanted it with kind of anything, but the ride was a lot of fun.
Yeah, now that it's in the rearview mirror, because I got to moonlight a little bit on the old Flames TV when they needed a hand, so I hopped down the motorway there. I think I was knocking around when the announcement came out about the Champions League, and they said, okay,
Yeah.
well, even if you guys win the league, you're not going to be able to play in the Champions League. That must have felt like a real kick below the belt when that came out.
Oh, absolutely. Because we found out just like everyone else did. It was Twitter.
Yeah.
No one told our coaching staff, management staff, or anything. And then it's just like, we do all this work we're looking to that, right? Hey, maybe if we do this, we're going to be in Champions League. And then that day comes, we're just like, oh, no, it doesn't matter if you guys win. That was kind of, I would be lying to you if it didn't affect the guys.
Yeah.
I think some were different. Some you wanted to win just to be like, hey, it's our Champions League. They just won't let us do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of, it did kind of hurt a bit, because it's just like, oh, you come to Guildford and you want to win, but like, you're not really getting you're not getting the reward from winning, I guess you could say.
Yeah, I get it, and it's a really special thing because it's interesting because there's no real comparison, because you play teams from both sides of the border in North America all the time, and okay, you go to some leagues in Europe, like the Austrian league's not really in Austria. You've got teams in Italy, Slovakia, Slovenia, and cross borders, but this is truly an interleague league, and playing in that, I can only imagine how awesome that must be.
No, exactly. And you want to see, like, not even us as players, but the fans want to see how does our team stack up against, a team in Austria, a team in Germany, or whatever, like it's good for our league to, I guess, to get more exposure, to see like how we are against European teams. And unfortunately, if Guildford was the team to win, then no one can see that. No one can see how the best team was against the other best in Europe.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's
yeah, no, I understand as well. No, for sure. But back onto the Blaze, because I think we played you guys 100 times last year. Certainly it felt that way,
sure.
and it just added to that rivalry again. I mean, I remember you and David Clements. I mean, every shift someone needed to stand behind you to make sure you boys were behaving.
Yeah, that's one guy I'm really excited to meet. Really, because we've definitely got into it over the past couple of years, and I'm sure he's not afraid to say it either. And no, I'm excited. I'm excited to come in that locker room and then just to see, because I'm the complete opposite guy away off the ice than what I am on the ice. I'm more quiet, to joke around, and just have a laugh. That's all I'm looking to do.
Well, I think you and Dave are going to get on just fine. And, generally for the new boys, because he's a Coventry kid, he's one of the go-tos to help you guys get acclimated, show you what's good around town and whatnot. So I'm sure he's going to stick his hand out straight away, and it's all going to be good. But what's it like as an away player in the Skydome? Because, I guess maybe I take it for granted being a Blaze TV guy, and I've been around since I was a kid, but it seems like it could be a pretty tough place to play for a road team at times.
You know what it is, when there's a lot of fans in there and anything happens, a hit or good play, a goal, that place gets loud. It gets really loud in there. And I'd be lying if I said that wasn't a reason why I signed to that place, because coming in as a away player, it is a tough place to play, especially on that small rink. If you get caught behind the 8 ball quick, you're in trouble there, because the fans they're right on top of you, and everyone can say what they want, but you can hear everything they say to you too. And that's what I love about the Coventry fans, because they're going to tell you how they feel too.
Absolutely.
And it is hard as a player.
Yeah, absolutely. That's good to hear. That's a good review of the Blaze faithful. I like it. We talked about year one. I think, what was it, 4th to 8th was a handful of points between them. It made for a really interesting ride. Last year couldn't have been any more different because it was just 2 blocks. You had 5th up and then you had 6th down. I don't think I've ever seen a league pan out that way.
It was crazy. That's what, like, all the British guys on our team, they were saying all the years they've been in there, like, it's just 1-2 every year, right? And then it's kind of crazy to have 5-6 teams in the mix. And I mean, that's what makes it so exciting now, because I feel like there's a lot more there's more teams in the league that are competitive now, right? There's not just the 1-2 big clubs anymore where they just kind of run over everybody and they fight it out to the last couple games of the year. Now there's a lot of competitive teams, and the Elite League's getting better every single year. You can see it as a player and as a fan. Yeah,
I'm looking at the rosters now, and a lot of teams are getting close to being done. I think we're one guy away from being done, and it's like, man, this is going to be interesting. There are some really good teams being put together.
Very, very, and like we're going to have a very competitive team. I really liked what Downey's done over even the past couple of years too, to what he's built now. I think it's going to be an exciting year to be Coventry Blaze and a fan of the team too. So we're gonna do some exciting things this year.
Yeah. So how did the move to Coventry come about? Tell us about that journey and a few more reasons why, because you've heard that you love the Skydome.
Yeah. Well, I reached out to Hammer and Brady Norris there, and they had nothing but great things to say. And then Danny reached out to me, and we had a good chat. And obviously me and Danny, I know he's very passionate behind the bench too, and we've gotten into it a couple times, me and him. But like I said, it's passion. Both of us have said it's just passion, and we kind of throw that behind us. And from what I hear from other players, they've loved him as a coach, and I'm excited to learn from him and to work under him.
Has anyone told you that when Stewie was playing that you guys play a real similar style of hockey?
Oh yeah, I've heard it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was my first impression, because I got to see you a lot last year. I was, like I said, helping out in Guildford, and when that news dropped, I was like, man, that is a Danny Stewart kind of player. He's almost like he signed a clone with a little bit more hair.
Yeah, exactly right. No, I keep hearing that, and I'm excited to try and keep it going and give the fans some exciting hockey to watch.
For sure. You hit the big 3-0 not too long ago, Ian. So I think it's safe to say in a young group, you're going to be one of the veteran guys. Does that maybe at all change anything what you're going to do this year, or are you just going to take care of business and see where you fit in the dynamic of a dressing room?
Yeah, I don't think it'll change me too much. I keep hearing this now. I'm a veteran guy, and like I blink and I feel like I'm 22, right? I'm now the old guy. No, I'm just gonna come in there just how I always do. Just get to know everybody, be myself. Really, my big thing is away from the rink is just everyone getting along. And I think there's every successful team I've been on is when everyone's kind of hanging out and doing things together as a team away from the room. That's kind of where success starts. And I'm excited to just be myself, meet some new guys, and just have a good year.
Yeah, for sure. Ian, it's been a blast, man. I really appreciate you putting a little bit of time aside to come introduce yourself to everybody. How are you going to be spending the rest of the summer? Because there's not a lot of it left, is there?
No, there isn't. It's coming up quick. We've got a few weeks here left. Well, I'm in BC visiting my parents right now, and then I'm going to head home here at the end of the week. And now it's starting to get the grind to get back into the season. I've been skating a bunch and working, but now kind of the work's going to slow and the skating's going to pick up, and more of the training, and I'll be ready to go September 1st when I fly in.
Absolutely. We're all looking forward to meeting you. Just before we wrap things up here on Blaze TV, I just wanted to pass on everyone's condolences to the family of Dave Murdoch, who we sadly heard passed away really recently. Dave's been around the Skydome since before the Blaze were at the Skydome. He was with Solihull as well. I used to love catching up with him from his tales of the penalty box. He probably had a couple to tell about Ian here. A great guy, Blaze through and through, and he's going to be a big miss. So before I wrap things up, I just wanted to pass that on. And from me, Ed Kimberley, from Ian, and from everybody at Blaze TV, we're going to see you at the Skydome really soon. So take care.
Awesome. Thanks a lot.